Snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah,
you want one quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
It's stream time, baby. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rashad Milligan. This is the road to 5K subs. If you are new to the channel, let's get right into it, man. It is currently 3 a.m. on the East Coast, man. You know, we doing what we got to do to get this money. But yeah, no, on a serious note, let's look to see what this is.
I remember you eloquently spoke last year about Caitlyn and how winning a title does not define a legacy. Since you yourself in the Final Four many times and didn't win it. Just how
I hope this year goes the same way.
That's my question. I mean, you have a player in Paige who obviously is one of the best in the country right now and has had an injured play career, but really good. You know her well. Can you just talk about her, what she's meant to women's basketball, and even if you guys do win tomorrow, how that won't define her as not being maybe as good as others just because she didn't win a title, if that's what you believe?
I'm gonna tread lightly with this. Here's the thing. Sometimes we create these narratives about great players. Caitlyn was one of them.
Here we
Paige is
go,
one of them.
bruh. In the sport of women's basketball, in the sport of where we measure a lot of the all-time greats by how many championships they won, national championships to be specific, it matters. And I think the only reason, this is a hot take, I think the only reason Don is saying it doesn't matter as much as everybody wants to make it seem like it matters here is honestly because the what's going on? Oh, because she's playing Paige tomorrow or today. That's the only reason why I think Don Staley is saying this right now, bro. If Don Staley in South Carolina wasn't playing UConn in the national championship game, do you think that she would be saying, "Oh, national champ, Paige is still a great player if they don't win it," which means like Paige is still a great player even if we beat her tomorrow? I don't think she's saying that
right now, and we tend to forget the narrative about what our kids have been able to do, and going for their third in 4 years. So there's a sentimental narrative about Paige. Great freaking player. Like anybody would start their franchise with Paige because of her efficient way of playing, because of she's a winner, because she's cerebrally just knows the game, just has an aura about her. And she'll be the number one pick in the WNBA draft, and she'll be an Olympian. She will be all of those things, right? But when you put a narrative out there, everybody sees that, and it puts us at a disadvantage, whether you want to believe so or not. Officials see it. It's all over TikTok. It's all over Sports Center. It's all over all of that. And she's a great player, but just because you're a great player doesn't mean you need to win a national championship to legitimize it.
Didn't they win? Didn't they beat Iowa and Caitlin Clark by like 30 last year? What is this? I don't know. UConn came into South Carolina a couple months ago and beat them by like 30. You guys came into the national championship last year against Caitlin Clark and Iowa at Caitlin Clark's peak of Caitlin Clark Iowa fame and all of this stuff. Miss NIL, Miss Change the Game, Miss Game Changer, Miss Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, whatever, Michael Jackson. You guys won by 20 points. There was no officiating being swayed your way that affected the game to the point where the 20-point lead that you guys worked so hard to build caused you guys to lose the game, win the game by 12 points instead of 20, 30 points. I don't know. What Don is doing right here is a political play. It's a political play with the officials. She's already working the officials and the referees, and also it's like continuing to plug her program, which you can't blame a college coach, for plugging their program. That's like how they get paid and keeping the recruitment in, keeping the program great. You have to recruit and you have to continue to market your program continuously. At the same time, like this is like I don't know. I think it's baloney. I think it's a bunch of baloney. But I mean, she has to say this. Hold on, Chris Sean. I think the point of the video is to try and make sure the refs don't give UConn an advantage. And she doesn't have a single. She doesn't play a single player enough minutes to give him superstar status. You're on point, sir. Yeah. I mean, it's the same. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, bro, because it's just like she said, South Carolina's going for their third in 4 years. They're the number one seed, or they are a number one seed. UConn's a number two seed. You are trying to make it seem like you guys are the underdogs because everybody wants to see Paige win. Didn't you think for just a second that you guys might be considered underdogs by the outside people? Because in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight, you let two lesser teams compete and give you guys a real scare. And when you guys needed buckets, when you guys needed consistency, it was like, where is it going to come from? Lay saved you one game in the Sweet 16 and then in Elite Eight. It was kind of like cloak kits, and kind of by committee. Isn't that the reason why people are like, okay, maybe this is the time, South Carolina? And plus, the same team just faced you a month ago, 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and beat you by 30 in your place that you barely lose in for the past 5 years. So I mean, to say that it's you guys are doing it, you watch your narratives, have to watch it. No, but at the same time, I get it from Don Staley's point because that's her job. She's like a salesperson. Like being a college coach is literally being a car salesman. You have to sell the cars off your lot, bro, to keep the program rich, to keep the people coming in, to keep the hottest cars coming into your dealership. You have to sell the cars that are already in your deal. Like you have to, hey, this is the best stuff. I promise you. It might not look as shiny as this one, but trust me, UConn has three number one, quote unquote, generational number one player in the country players on their roster, bro. In their starting lineup. Forget on their roster. In their starting lineup. AZ Fudd, Paige Beckers, and Sarah Strong. AZ Fudd came into college as a high school national All-American Naismith player, Gatorade National Player of the Year, right? She was coming in. People were like, she's going to be even better than Paige. Paige was the National Player of the Year as a freshman. Sarah Strong is doing things that we ain't seen from a freshman since Paige. Since Paige. This is crazy. This is crazy. She's like baby Jokic out there, bro. She's like I wouldn't say she's Shingun because I don't know if Shingun can shoot at the same clip that Sarah Strong can shoot. Jokic can shoot like that. So I was like, this is ridiculous. A freshman, an 18, 19-year-old freshman is looking like the 3-time, 4-time NBA MVP right now, bro. That is why people are in awe about UConn. It's not about, nah, we really want Paige to get one. It feel sorry for Paige because she just keeps getting injuries and she won't get one. Yeah, of course, people want to see that as sports fans, but that's not the reason why people are angling this thing for UConn. People are angling this thing for UConn because UConn has a generational squad that they'll only have for one season with the three number one generational number one prospects, high school prospects coming into college. And two of the three living up to their hype all the time. And AZ still showing flashes every now and then. Yeah, AZ still got that clip on it for sure, including the game in South Carolina. Go back to the South Carolina game where y'all got blown out. So it just is what it is, bro. But like I said, she's just playing her role as the car salesman at the college program and things of that sort. And you can't blame that. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your brothers are wrong or something like that, but you have to defend them because that's your brother. That's all she's doing. So I salute it. I salute the dedication to, my program, my program, my program. I get it. But geez Louise, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And I've said this before. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in all the sports is when a team that never loses still tries to find a way to, oh man, ain't no one believe in us. And remember when Georgia was like number one? They were the defending champs or something like that. Or, something happened to Bama, the front runners, and Georgia was the clear front runner for the national championship. And Kirby Smart is like, yeah, no one believes in our guys. ESPN, I seen two of you guys pick against us. It's like that's the first time they picked against Georgia all season, bro. And it makes it seem like Georgia's just the biggest underdogs in the history of underdogs. Nick Saban will light a fire under those kids in the middle of them winning every national championship for 12 consecutive years. And they go, oh, yeah, we had a lot of doubters that said Bama lost its edge, the Crimson Tide lost its edge, and we just wanted to prove. Bro, nobody said that. I get it from a motivational standpoint of like, no one out there believes in you except for us 12 in this locker room. But that's like crazy when it comes to a program like a soccer. You guys are going for your third and 4 years, bro. You guys are the number 1 seed. UConn's the number 2 seed, bro. And I'm saying the same thing in circles, so I'm going to keep playing this video for the last minute.
She just legit. She was legit from the moment she stepped, on this stage or prior to in Minnesota. Her career is legendary. She will leave a legacy at UConn, whether she wins one or not. So I just want to put that out there. Like I can't not address it.
If a national championship don't mean so much for Paige, why don't you just lose the game? A national championship does not define these young women to the right of me. Breezy, our seniors, it just doesn't mean that much to us. Like these kids, these women, they developed into fine young women and they're going to be great professionals out on the road. Like, okay, if it's not that big of a deal to win the national championship for your legacy, and they're going to be great players regardless because they already won before. All the vets have already won before at South Carolina. So what is the point, right? What is the point?
Because it's happening. Like it happened to us last year. Everything was.
Hold on. Chris asked another question. He said, I'm Ohio born and raised, Ohio State fan. Who's your team? Breezy from my city, Dayton, Ohio. So with like the Midwest and stuff like that, like I feel like behind on like just keeping up with college sports in general. Like with Ohio State and Michigan and Indiana and all those teams, like I'm always like football, basketball, I'm always behind with those. I'm from Atlanta. I don't have a college team. I went to Georgia State. So I guess I root for Georgia State. But even then, I don't like before this season, I didn't really follow them that much since I graduated that closely and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't have a team. I just love the game, bro. I just love the game of basketball.
It's about Caitlin Clark and her legacy and her ability to win a national championship. Yet we were coming to this thing undefeated, doing something that's unprecedented at the time. Because it's hard. I mean, it's hard.
It's not the same thing, Don. I mean, coach, I'm sorry. Let me be respectful. It's not the same thing, coach. It's not the same thing, bro. This is totally because, like you said, like you guys came in last season undefeated, and the entire discussion was about Caitlin Clark. This year, the discussion is not about you guys being undefeated because you guys weren't undefeated. You guys actually lost multiple times in the regular season. Lost to Texas. You lost to UConn by a lot. You lost to UCLA by a lot at the beginning of the season. You guys almost lost twice in the NCAA tournament already this year. That wasn't the case last year. It's just not the same thing, bro. Oh, I'm switching the lens. It's just not the same thing. So, I mean, you can kind of swing it for whatever for your narrative, but Come on, bro.
And then we find ourselves
Like,
back
did you reach before the stretch? I mean, did you stretch before the reach?
here in a similar situation. So, you know, I want the sentiments to be about our players and what our players been able to do equally, because there's room to do both. Okay, we can raise Paige up because she deserves that. We can raise our players up because they deserve that, and that's not talked about enough. There's room for our game, like for Jose. There's room for our game for all of us to be covered. Let's not choose one's history over another program's history. Let's not choose one player over another player's history, because we're all creating history for our game.
All right, bro. She tried though. I mean, so salute to Don for at least trying. You can't be mad at someone for trying, for sure. All right, this is the
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.